Hello, my name is Hans Jeevers. Welcome back to the Jeevers Golf Channel. And this week we're going to talk about the Memorial Tournament, which is Jack Nicklaus's event, and it has been on the calendar since 1976. I'm not going to get into course description this week due to the fact that last week's Workday Charity Open was also played at Muirfield Golf Club. If you have a desire to hear some of my description of the golf course, how it relates to fantasy golf, feel free to take a look at my video from last week regarding the Workday Charity Open, which you can see on my channel there. If you're not already a subscriber, it'd be great if you clicked on the subscribe button. It'd be awesome. Hit the like button. That'd be great as well, as it helps with my content getting out there with YouTube and the search engine when people click in DFS golf, etc., etc. So I really appreciate that. And also, any comments you have, I always love to hear the comments from people. I love talking golf. Any questions you have, feel free to put them in there as well. So this week we have two articles that will be coming out in the next day or so. One has already been published on Pro Golf Now, and that is from a Draftkings perspective. And the one on Fansided may not come out until tomorrow morning regarding a FanDuel look at the slate. So let's just get right into it, and let's talk about the Draftkings pricing. And I took a look at the Draftkings pricing, and at least on the Draftkings side of things, I went away from the top tier, the Roy McIlroys, the Justin Thomas, the real high-price guys, and I went down to Mr. Brooks Koepka, three-time major winner. I think some people will be off him this week, as he burned a lot of people last week, and that could be good for myself and you if you decide to put him in your lineup, because I think Brooks Koepka is going to play well this week. Now, if you just looked at the tournament box score from last week and you saw a missed cut, there's a lot more to it than that. He played 2 rounds of golf. I watched the majority of the golf tournament with Mr. Koepka playing, as I have the PGA Tour app, etc., etc. And to be fully honest, full disclosure, he did not look good for 27 holes of golf. He was 5 over par through 27 holes with 9 holes to play. The cut number was 1 under. He needed to get to 1 under to make the cut, at least at that point. It ended up moving to -2, but that's not the point. The point of the matter is he shot a blistering 6 under par in the back, and 16, 17, 18, the hardest holes in the golf course. He was firing at pins because he knew he had no choice. He had different nonverbals on his face. You could tell something seemed to click within his golf swing. He wanted to make the cut in a big way. He had a 38-foot putt on his last hole of the day to get to 1 under, and at the time that was the cut number. But unfortunately, the following morning, they finished the second round and the cut moved to -2, and he missed the cut by a stroke. But I think that's good from a DFS perspective. Why? Because a lot of people were burned by Koepka. He was very popular last week. He can be volatile at times, and that can be good from a DFS perspective if you get him at the right time. I think this week is the time to jump on him. Now, you will have some sharp people out there that are not going to veer away from Mr. Koepka, but you get into a large GPP, he's not going to be as highly owned as he would have been last week, in my opinion. The numbers will play that out here eventually here this week. We'll see. But it's just hard to push that button and put someone in your lineup after they've burned you pretty bad the week before with a missed cut. So Brooks Koepka, I like him going down. I think it's good from a DraftKings perspective to lead off with him at $9,100. So another guy I like from a DraftKings perspective is 27-year-old American Daniel Berger. I think he could fly under the radar a little bit because he doesn't have the household name that everybody knows, Tiger Woods and Ricky Fowler and all that. But I'll tell you this, the man is playing some solid, outstanding golf. He's taken a few weeks off, but he has 5 consecutive top 9 finishes on the PGA Tour, including a win at the Charles Schwab Challenge in June. His strokes gained numbers are through the roof. He is a ball striker, and he's just on point right now. And I think Muirfield Village is going to set up nicely for him. He did not play last week. I don't think that's going to matter. I like Daniel Berger, and I think he's just underpriced at $8,700, and I think he's a nice get at that price point. The other guy I like on DraftKings is Abraham Answer. Comes in on the slate at $8,500. The Mexican has played some outstanding golf as of late. He's another gentleman that has taken a few weeks off, but he played 3 consecutive tournaments once the PGA Tour started the season again after the stoppage of play. He's played 3 tournaments since June, and he has 3 top 14 finishes, including a narrow. He almost stole a victory at the RBC Heritage, but he came up a little bit short, including a 2nd place finish at the RBC Heritage last month. So I love Abraham Answer this week. I think these greens are going to suit him well. You know, in Mexico, you have those POA greens, the bumpy greens, and that's what you're going to have a little of that in the bent grass this week, and I think he'll do pretty well. This isn't 100% POA before you get in the comment section, okay? And say, oh, you don't show about. No, I know it's bent grass and POA, but you do have both of those green grasses in the greens here. Another guy that I like in the lower tier is a Troy Merritt. Troy Merritt is playing outstanding. He is 34-year-old American, and he has 2 consecutive top 22 finishes, and he played rather well last week at the Workday. I think he finished 22nd last week. And of course, the Workday was played at Merritt Golf Village Golf Club. So, Merritt Village Golf Club. So, what does that mean? Well, lower tier guy, journeyman guy. He seemed to be playing some of the best golf he's ever played, even though he does have a couple PGA Tour wins to his name. But usually, some of those are opposite field events, opposite of the British Open. So it's a little bit watered down field. He's starting to compete in higher echelon events. So I also like the fact that Merritt finished 17th at the 2019 Memorial. So he's got a couple nice results on this particular golf course, this track here. Last guy I like on DraftKings, Taylor Gooch, $6,500. 4 top 17 finishes this PGA Tour season, and he finished 17th last week at the Workday. He finished 9th in the field at the Workday in GIR, greens and regulation. Hitting 69.4% of his greens. That's what you're going to need to do here again this week. I like him there. Moving on to FanDuel real quick. I don't want to take too much of your time today. Patrick Cantlay. I love this guy on this golf course. He played rather well last week. Towards the end, he shot a blistering 65 in the final round, and jumped up from like 30th to 7th in one round. Played outstanding. He is also the 2019 Memorial Tournament champion, so obviously he likes this golf course. Next guy I like is Hideki Matsuyama. In the last 8 rounds in the PGA Tour, with regard to the listed players in the Memorial Tournament field for this week, Matsuyama is 3rd in GIR, 3rd in strokes gained ball striking, and 1st in proximity to hole. So, with regard to this field, and it's a talented field, Mr. Matsuyama there is right up there as far as outstanding statistics. Additionally, he's played well at this golf course many times before. He's played the Memorial Tournament 6 times since 2014, and he has 4 top 13 finishes, including a win in 2014. Mr. Tiger Woods is making his return to golf. It's the first time he's had since the stoppage in play. I believe he didn't play for a month prior to that. I think it's since February since he's played a competitive golf tournament. He's coming back after a long layoff. I think he has the ability to finish top 5, top 10. He comes in on the slate on FanDuel at $10,600. Some people may be pushed off by the fact he hasn't played in a while. I'm not concerned. I've seen this guy play well after long layoffs, and because of his back issues, he knows he can't play every week. And when he comes to play golf now, it seems that he is on point and ready to roll. Another guy I like on FanDuel, Lucas Glover, comes in on the slate at $8,700. He has played 4 tournaments since the start of June. In those 4 events played, Glover has 4 top 23 finishes, including a 20th place result at the Travelers Championship 3 weeks ago. Glover currently ranks 27th in strokes gained approach on the PGA Tour. So he's a nice ball striker, and he's on point right now. The last one I'll give you on FanDuel is Sept Straka, 27-year-old Austrian. He has 2 consecutive top 14 finishes on the PGA Tour, including an 8th place finish at the Rocket Mortgage 2 weeks ago. So there you go. Those are my picks from a DraftKings perspective and a FanDuel perspective. Not all of them, but the majority. Feel free to take a look at my articles. It'd be outstanding if you could go on there and take a look at my articles on Fansided.com and ProGolfNow.com. And if you follow me on Twitter, you will always see my content as soon as it comes up, because I make sure to put those articles up as soon as I can so people can see the information on there so they can get rolling on their picks for the week. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the Memorial Tournament and win some money, and we'll see you next week. Take care.